Hello, gentlemen. Happy Friday. I ran a virtual meet here to kind of give a little bit of feedback about kind of where we stand. Now, of course, me showing you this doesn't mean this is how the race plays out. This is just data. This is on paper, and the races are not run on paper, but it can help give us a little bit of information which can help us form a strategy around tomorrow's race. So what I did is I highlighted our guys in yellow, the Jerome guys, and you can see here we're all showing up. 1, 2, Josh, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our top 6 make it on the first page here in the top 25, which is fantastic. You can see here the UA guys are highlighted in red. They are lockstep with where we are at. That's going to be a very interesting matchup for us. We beat them a few weeks in a row, and then last week, of course, they just nipped us at the Clash. So pay particular attention to these guys tomorrow, the Bears with the black and yellow jerseys. They will be a great level of competition for us across the board, especially in this region right here. There's some real battles that could be won that will probably make or break the race for us. Okay. You can see that Kaufman is highlighted in green there. Now, they haven't done a ton of races. I think they are better than the virtual meet is letting on, just because there's not as much data on them. But you can see here, even based on the data that's had right now, they got a couple of front runners here. I would think, I would possibly hope that Liam can be somebody that Josh stays with. Maybe Noah will be in the mix with that group as well. You can see here that, our group is not far behind. So kind of having the goal of keeping an eye on Kaufman's number 2 would be great, even if you're not in lockstep with Noah, Carson, Gunnar, David, Barch. If you can see Noah, their 2 guy, then that's a good sign. That means you're running a good race and you're where you need to be. Now, if you end up having a great day and you beat him, heck, that's great. But he's a good one to keep an eye on. Orange has a couple kids here that I didn't really highlight, but I'll kind of indicate right here. So Orange has some strength up front here as well. You can see here they have 3 guys that are running in the mid 16s or below, and so that's a good team to keep an eye on as well. In fact, they will be right in the mix there in the top 3 teams, I would think, for this race. So based on this breakdown here, you can kind of get an idea of your goal positioning for this race. Sam, you're going to be towards the front, and I would expect the UA guy may try to take it out, may not. You may be in a position to try to be the aggressor in this meet and lead the way. This Charlie kid right here, he's a senior. Maybe he's going to try to make some waves. He may try to take it. You just stay with him, and then just focus on trying to get him at the end. For Josh, I would think the goal for you would be really trying to link up with your old pal Liam, who you have raced with before. And if you can stay with Liam or close to Liam, then that's good. Be aggressive. This is a good race to try something out. Liam's a few seconds ahead of you right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't be right there with him. You've already dropped a ton of time this year, and I think we're just scratching the surface. Carson and Gunnar, I've heard you both kind of express an interest and desire to try to stay with Josh, and I think that's a good and a fine strategy. Just be reasonable there. Go out with him the first mile. If you're going to do it, just commit to not drop back too much afterwards. I don't mind you wanting to be aggressive. That's okay, but we can't afford anyone dying in the race, and so you gotta commit to that. And maybe start conservative, perhaps. Maybe start a few seconds behind Josh and just kind of keep him in striking distance. And then, if you feel good the second mile, great. Go up with them. Okay. David and Barch. Okay. Now both of you are just right in that mix too, and there's nothing really stopping you from being right in that mix that I just talked about. Barch, I think you have a great strategy. You stay close to Gunnar. You're always in good striking distance. You just keep doing what you're doing. David, I want you getting out a little more aggressive. You can see here that you're slotted here at the 22 slot. I would like to see you at least in the top 25 after the first mile, okay? So I think as a result of that, if you put yourself in that good of position at the start of the race, you will be in a much better position to even break the top 20 by the end of the race, because you have shown an ability to move up as the race goes on, which is great. That's one of your assets, but I think we can tap that potential even further if you get out a little bit harder the first mile. So I would like to see top 25 for the first mile for you. Here's the second page of the results here. You can kind of see, I looked up some results here. Ryan Loins from Kaufman ran 17:30 at Lancaster. Isaac Frank ran 17:02 at Lancaster. Not a super fast course. They're competitive. I would expect them to have better days tomorrow. So I would expect them to be right in the mix with our the back of our top 5 or 6 there with Barch, Hartman, and those guys. I would expect them to be right in the mix with you all. So those are battles we want to win. Reed, you are in a great position in the open to really do well. I want you to run smart. I want you to get out aggressive, but I don't want you to get out too aggressive. I know you're excited. I know you want to put on a good show tomorrow, and for good reason. You want to. You're a senior. You want to go out with a bang here these last several meets. Just be smart. You will have a chance to do really well though in the open. So don't be surprised if you find yourself up front. Okay, Rishi. You're in the racing varsity based on the Clash last week. You're showing steady improvement. I would like to see you, along the same lines as David, I would like to see you get out a little bit harder. So you can see here that you're slotted around the 40 slot here for the overall finish. I think I would like to see you around 40 after the first mile, because I really do think that you could be a top 30, even a top 25 guy in this race if you get out a little bit more aggressive and kind of test your limits a little bit more. This would be a good race to try that out and kind of see where that limit is a little bit more. You're growing each week. You're making a ton of progress. So maybe this is the week to kind of put yourself out there. Maybe try to roll with a guy like this. One of these Kaufman guys who is a high 16 guy. Maybe that's a guy you try to stay with. Okay. And you can see here as well, we got some other guys on this list here. There's Sam, Jordan. Okay, you guys are going to have a great opportunity to make some noise in the open. Remember, Orange was the team last week that really put on a good show at the Clash. Orange has some great depth as well as regular Olentangy. These teams, really kind of took it to us at the Clash. They had a pack that was about 15 seconds in front of us. I would encourage the open guys, keep an eye on those teams. Keep an eye on Olentangy, keep an eye on Orange. They have strong squads. Those are battles that we want to win. Based on the breakdown here, if we run the team scores here, I've listed the order that we would finish. We would be second if the race plays out exactly like this, which it never does, but that would be the breakdown. UA would end up with 60 points. We would have 63 points, so right behind them. Orange would have 80.5, and Kaufman would have 92, based on these times. Now, again, the race is not run on paper. I expect Kaufman to be significantly better than that. I expect them to be right up there with us in UA, as well as Orange. Orange is a good player in this mix. So any 4 of these teams could really capture this. It's going to come down to battles, gentlemen. It's going to come down to winning some of those battles. The last 400, 800 meters. UA just edged us out last week. We don't want to let that happen again. Okay, Kaufman, we know they're good. They beat us a couple weeks ago. We know that they're going to be, nipping at our heels here. So I really have a good feeling about tomorrow. I think we could really do well. Just focus on what you can do, control what you can control, run your best race possible, compete, and a lot of the rest will play itself out. All right, y'all, thanks. See you tomorrow.